Hey everyone, this is Tyler G from Batman TAS Figs. And today's video is going to be the spoiler video for Batman and Harley Quinn. So if you do not want to be spoiled or haven't seen it yet, leave. But if you just don't care either way, or you've already seen it and you want to go over some Easter eggs and talk about the plot, I really hope you stay. So, I'm going to go into some bullet points, and actually I wrote a script this time instead of just freestyling it. So the first thing I want to talk about is animation. What can you say about the Bruce Timm animation that hasn't been said before? I love it. It's classic, it's nostalgic. It's based off the old Superman animated serials like back in the day. So it's just timeless looking. He did do some different changes to it and some different mods, like he does every time he redraws the DCAU after a while, or just after a certain amount of time. He likes to change it up. The first changes I noticed were on Batman. I like that he drew the cowl and head area a lot like how Batman appears in the DC Rebirth titles, as well as it looks a lot like, not a lot like, but you could tell he kind of made it look like a Capullo style head. From the neck down though, it's a lot like Batman from the new Batman Adventures, with the exception that he does have a two-tone cape, which is a light purple color, which again I like because a little nod to the Rebirth and actually like what's going on in comics currently. So I love that. Nightwing, he doesn't have his mullet. I wouldn't have minded either way, mullet, non-mullet, just because if you had a mullet, that's cool, because he really did have one, and it's nostalgic purposes. But he looked cool without the mullet too. Either way, I love the character, I love the voice actor. Overall, I give that a 10 out of 10. I thought it was beautiful. All the artwork. I'm glad they didn't try to go too much into like using 3D stuff and too much computer stylized stuff. They just try to keep it looking a lot like it originally appeared. And it's so seldom nowadays you see a cartoon anyway drawn in that way, like actually looking like a cartoon and not a Pixar or a DreamWorks style like 3D animated movie. It was nice to see the illusion of or it looked like a cartoon. I'm sure they used computers, but it looked like it was drawn, and I loved it. The voice work. What can you say about Kevin Conroy and Lauren Lester? They are Batman and Nightwing / Robin to us, and it was great hearing them back together. It was nostalgic. I thought they did a great job sounding just like they did, especially Lauren Lester to still be able to sound like that youthful. That's awesome. Melissa Rauch as Harley Quinn. I thought she was really good. Yes, at first, when you first hear it, it's jarring, but that's because you're used to a certain thing. Like with any change or anything, you have to get used to it. And by the end of the movie, she's really enjoyable as Harley Quinn, and you'll really like her. She also did an awesome job singing Hanging on the Telephone by Blondie, which I thought was another cool nod. And I'll get into that when I go into the Easter egg section of this review. The story. Well, let me go. Poison Ivy's voice is good. Nothing spectacular. Floronic Man, Michael Richardson. You know he always sounds the same as any character, so you just know it's him. I mean, other than the voices were good. That's what you wanted. Okay. Story. I personally thought, not personally, because everyone knows that this is kind of like Harley Quinnade, which is from the original Batman the Animated Series. And that story is Joker has taken a nuclear bomb from like a mob auction. He just steals it from all the mob bosses like a boss. And then Batman and Robin have to get Harley Quinn to help them, like to find out what Joker's doing, where his hideout is, so that they could stop him from blowing up Gotham. But the other episode I kind of like was getting vibes from was Home and Garden for Poison Ivy, because a lot of the episodes she like deals with plants, but in this particular episode she's trying to make, in Home and Garden, she's trying to make perfect humans, perfect people, and she's doing that by making them plants. And she's trying to perfect that and make them stay human form longer before they dissolve into plants. And so I felt like this was a lot like that, mixed with Harley Quinn. So I thought it was cool, and that's what you want. You want a different story, but you still kind of want something similar to remind you of, like, oh yeah, those episodes, those were, oh man, those were classics. You don't want anything too crazy. So I thought it was great for what it was and how they intermingled those, and plus gave a fresh spin and different things. So it was cool. I love the story. I don't know why people like to hate, so that is why they hated on it. People just like to hate in general. I saw some people hating on the fact that they said that they felt like they're trying to be forced into an emotional moment. A professor is mind controlled by Poison Ivy. He gets shot because they're trying to get away, and so the Pharaonic Man shoots him with like a huge thorn in his chest. And there's a scene where you see Harley Quinn caring for the guy. He's dying. She's like, "It's okay. Like, you've done really well. Like, you had no idea this was going on. I'm sorry." And then you see Batman and Nightwing come over, and they're taking his pulse and like trying to help him. Batman injects him with some kind of medicine and try to help him, or maybe a pain reliever, who knows. But it's something I always was interested in knowing about, because we know Batman has been affected by death with Jason Todd and of course his family, his mom and dad. And we've seen a few other deaths in comics where he's affected by them, but I've always wondered, like, the average Joe's like that, like just a professor. He didn't have a relationship with this professor, but when you see the professor eventually pass, you see how it affects each one of them. Harley Quinn is a little bit more talkative, but Batman and Nightwing, you could tell just kind of like, the person passes, the professor, and you see Batman and Nightwing just look down, and you know it affects them. You know it never gets easier for them, even though they've probably seen it a ton of times. And I really like seeing that, and I like seeing that aspect of Batman portrayed in an animated film, but you still have people hating on it. And I feel like you have to be dead inside to be like, they're just trying to do this to get me to cry. Like, I doubt Bruce Timm was like, you know what, I just want to make these dudes cry, I'm going to put this in there. No. Throughout all of Batman the Animated Series, if you've watched them, you know it was not a show that ended on a high note every time, or always was like a happy ending. There were some times where the episode ended and you're just like sitting there while the credits are rolling, just like, man, that was deep. Or, wow, like, that is sad. Like Mr. Freeze, that ended on a sad note. Feet of Clay, you feel really bad afterwards. There's a Tiger, that ended on a sad note. Like, that's the style. And to say it's not the style and it's just trying to get a cheap emotion out of people it's just false, it's ignorant, and it's from people that don't know what they're talking about. If you enjoy Batman the Animated Series, you will enjoy this movie. I'm sorry I'm getting worked up, but it really bothers me that these people, like, I watched another review and this person is just saying that she felt that she was watching animated porn while watching this, and that could not be a more over-the-top, ridiculous statement. It could not be. It's trying to manipulate you into feeling this movie is bad and trusting them, and I just think the person is full of themselves and they think they're on a high horse. But to say that that's very irresponsible and very, it's an outright lie, and you're lying to people when you say that this is an animated porn. Enough of that. Let's keep going. So that's the story. I don't think Bruce Timm deserves any of the hate that people are giving him. That's the story. Now we're going to go into the Easter eggs. Easter eggs. First Easter eggs, I would say, are in the Super Babes restaurant. And it's not really Easter eggs. It's like characters you know. They're drawn in a little skimpier outfits. But there is one really cool Catwoman cameo, and it's the 90s Catwoman, and the purple with the long black hair. That was awesome to see in a Bruce Timm style, because we've never seen that in any animated form, and to see Bruce Timm style was way sick. I'm sure there's a purple Catwoman in Batman Brave and the Bold, but it's more like the dress Catwoman. It's not the 90s skin tight Catwoman. So that was very cool. That's mainly the only Easter egg from that part. And then the huge part, which I felt like was a love letter to the fans, and what Bruce Timm purposely did, so you'd be like, oh, remember, or so it's like call back to these episodes, get you to remember just how many cool episodes there were, the great stories, callbacks. I thought it was cool. I love this scene. I also love Harley singing Hanging on the Telephone. The first ones I noticed were, there's a bunch of henchmen, and they're all from different episodes throughout all of Batman the Animated Series history. And so the first ones I noticed were there was Violet, and that's one of the girls that wears the toga in the Eternal Youth Poison Ivy episode. She was in a video trying to get Bruce to come to the resort so Poison Ivy could turn him into a tree. So I saw Violet. They have Captain Clown from The Last Laugh, which is awesome. Randa Dwayne from Heart of Steel, and they're both robots, Captain Clown and Randa Dwayne, and they are both dancing together and, of course, doing the robot. So that was cool. Candace from Two-Face and the Bane episodes, and she always wore a red blazer and red skirt, and she was Rupert Thorne's like right-hand woman. So I loved her. I thought she was awesome from those two episodes. I wish we got more of her, so I really love that Bruce Timm put her in this scene. Enrique El Gancho from You Scratch My Back, and he was the guy with the hook in the Catwoman Nightwing episode where they team up and she tries to get him to believe she's a good guy now. And that's from the New Batman Adventures. Another New Batman Adventure episode henchman I saw were Mr. Freeze's girls from Cold Comfort, and they wore like the Eskimo ponchos, but were like mini dresses, and the sunglasses. I don't know why they wear sunglasses if they're Mr. Freeze's people. Maybe for sun flare. I don't know. I'm getting off track. The mime henchmen, so the big Joker henchman with the painted mime face, and those are from Make 'Em Laugh, the episode where Joker took over a bunch of comedians and turned them into like the Condiment King using Mad Hatter's mind control technology. And I also noticed Germs, and he was the henchman that was a germaphobe in the Feet of Clay episodes, and he was Roland Daggett's dude. Emmy Lou from Farmer Brown's... Emmy Lou was Farmer Brown's daughter from the episode Critters. And that was one of the worst episodes in my opinion. But still cool that he did that. The Rob Paulson twins from Two-Face episode, part 2. In the second part, he had two redheaded freckled twins as his henchmen. And they actually sang a song too, Don't Pull Your Love on Me. And I liked that. That was pretty cool. A classic. The henchman and the unnamed gang leader from the Point of View episode, POV. The episode where a rookie cop, Harvey Bullock, and Renee Montoya have to tell their side of the story on why a bust went wrong. So that was cool to see. Roland Daggett's henchman and Nitro from Appointment in Crime Alley. Those two henchmen were in it. Selena Kyle's friend Maven. who loses ISIS in cat scratch fever. Penguin's iceberg lounge waitresses, and they're actually waitresses at this place too, and they just wear like the top hats, little collars, and black one-piece bathing suits, similar to like a Playboy bunny, but penguin style. Ubu, Ra's al Ghul's right-hand man from the Demon's Quest, part 1 and 2. And you know who Ubu is. He's the guy that kept pushing Batman, calling him infidel. And then, last but not least, Calendar Girl. She was like Calendar Man, but Calendar Girl, and she was in the episode... Crap, what was that episode? Mean Seasons. And the new Batman Adventures, and she had huge buff Chippendale-like henchmen that wore just black pants. I think they wore some hats, some of them, and then they had like a bow tie, just like a Chippendales guy. Yeah, and that's all the Easter eggs that I noticed. And I loved it. And people are... fan service. People saying it's fan service. Who else is going to watch this? This is made for people that enjoy Batman, aka fans. So to call it fan service and say it's bad because of fan service is very illogical. Because if you're going to produce something for a specific audience and you want to put some nostalgia stuff, put some classic stuff, some callbacks to the people, the reason the people even want to see this is because it's reminiscent of something. So to say it's bad because it's like trying to pander to the fans, of course it is. Of course it is. It's for them. The fans are going to spend money on it. The fans want to see it. If you aren't a Batman fan, don't watch it. But don't hate on it and say it's stupid or Bruce Timm is out of control. When you're not really a fan of the show, if you're thinking like that, you're just trying to get clicks on your YouTube video, and you're trying to get people to write a ton of comments, and that's what you're doing. So if you're a Batman fan, watch it. You'll love it. I thought it was better than The Killing Joke, and I like The Killing Joke. So that's my spoiler/Easter egg review. I can't wait to see what you guys think. You can comment down below here, or you can visit me at Batman TAS Figs. Batman TAS Figs on Instagram. See tons of pictures. I'll have a picture up to go along with this video that I'm posting today, so that people on Instagram know that I have a new video up. So, I hope you have a great day. I'll be getting back to action figure reviews soon. And if you guys are enjoying these movie reviews, let me know. And maybe I'll do more. So, thank you. Again, have a great day.